Hey SEO friends, James Slattery here. It's been a while. I just got back from SEO at the beach and figured I'd hit the ground running with some new videos. Today we're going to be discussing Matterport, the virtual reality tour software using 360 cameras. Okay, so let's start off, make sure that we all are aware of what Matterport looks like. So I'll give you a quick demo. Here's one, Home Depot. And this is what we call the dollhouse view. And once we get in, anywhere that there's a spot, you can click on the spot to move around the store and see what products they have. Okay? And you can zoom in and out, and you can walk around the entire store. That's Matterport. Now, what does Matterport have to do with SEO? Well, I just closed a nice 15 location SEO deal utilizing Matterport as not a sales tool, but a bonus offer on top of doing web design and SEO. I said, you know what, you could really use some virtual reality tours of your location. They agreed. I'm not a photographer. I learned Matterport. I'm ready to teach it to you. So getting started, basically there's two things that you need to get started. You need a plan, meaning the location on Matterport's site for you to create the walkthroughs, and you need, and the storage for the future of that walkthrough, and then you need a camera. And basically, the nice thing about Matterport is they do yearly billing. So whatever this is, you multiply it by 12, and that's approximately what you're going to pay. I recommend that you get the job first and then get the product. And basically the way that I price it out, and I'm going to show you the camera stuff later, but basically if you were to get 5 locations, including the camera with Matterport's account, would be about $525. If you were to do 20, it'd be $1,100 for the year for creation, the software, the app, everything you need, including the camera. So it is approachable. That's spread out over 12 months, etc. Now, let's look at the cameras. So we're going to start from the ground up. So Matterport sells like a moving ashtray type thing that you put your cell phone into. It gets bad reviews. It's 79 bucks. Skip it. Next up, we have the Insta360 X3 for $399. And as far as price value proposition, 10 out of 10. It's 400 bucks. It's amazing. The prices that I gave you on the previous page were based on that, because this camera, it does an exceptional job. Now, does it do every job perfectly? No. You do have to be vigilant, and you do have to stay on top of your own job. If you have narrow walkways, etc., or bad lighting, or changing scenarios, you will have to deal with that. As far as how it performs and speed, 9 out of 10. Next, we have the first camera that I started with, which was the Ricoh Theta Z1, about $1,000. It's not great. When you do the 360 tours with it, it's not great. It's slow. The only benefit of it is it does have an audible shutter, so that when you do from your cell phone take the picture, which controls the camera, you do hear it. And because you're hiding so that you're not in the image, it does help. As far as performance, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. And then you have Matterport's own camera, the Matterport 3, which is about 6,000 bucks. As far as a price performance, it's there, but it's not great. I would definitely go with the Insta360. If you're watching, your costs, I mean, there's a huge discrepancy in price, and I don't believe that the discrepancy in quality is there. As far as a performance rating, 8 out of 10 overall. Okay. I love this camera. We're really impressed with it, Insta360X3. But I have all three, and I can tell you that this one is the better deal, and this is the one that we're more frequently bringing out to client locations. Next, scan times. This is important. I often do retail stores. Real estate is easier. Basically, there's nobody forcing you to hurry up. In real estate, in retail, there is. I often shut down stores midday. You have an hour, hour and a half to do the store. You have the employees complaining. You have the customers complaining, and that's the customer yanking at the door. That's a typical scene when you're doing Matterport in retail during the day. During normal store hours, you shut the store down, people are going to be upset because they came there. It is what it is. It's going to end up making the store more money than the value lost during that hour. Now, if you were to do 80 stores, which is our 80 images, which is our average, 80 times 1 minute, hour and 20 minutes, 80 times 28 seconds, 37 minutes. Obviously, the seconds matter big time, and this is how the scans show up when you're walking around on the floor plan. So this person started at this store, took 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Now, capture tips. Baseline, figuring things out. The way Matterport works is it matches up your cell phone and your 360 camera. Your cell phone is the remote shutter, so you press a button on the camera, on the cell phone, and the camera takes the picture. That's why it's worthwhile to have an audible shutter on the camera so that you know that it's done, because you're hiding, because you don't want to be in the picture. You also have to have the employees hide, and because it's a 360 camera, it's not just line of sight. Its line of sight is everywhere that you can see the camera, it can see you. Patience. So the way these dots, which we saw in this previous slide, the way those dots show up is after scanning and processing, they show up, and you need to make sure that they're aligned properly. So you have to wait for them to fully come in. So while the camera may be ready to take another picture, that's the camera side. The software side for Matterport, it's not ready, and it's not going to align properly, and you're going to have problems with your virtual tour. The orientation, meaning which way the lens faces, I've found if the orientation stays the same, it makes a big difference as far as whether or not it's going to align properly. Number 3, start at the bottom floor. If you're doing 2 floors, you start at the bottommost floor and work your way up. Leads into 4. If you're handling stairs, you start on the first level, you do the entire first level, you go up the stairs, still first level, you take one last shot at the beginning of the second level, and then you take another one next to it. So you basically have side by side floor 1 and floor 2 on the landing of the steps. Next, check new scans are aligned with the old. I normally delete and retake if they're not aligned. I guess if you're super advanced, you'd be able to realign them on the fly. I can't. I delete them and retake them. There are 2 scan modes. Make sure you're using the correct mode. So the top mode is the Matterport that we're used to. The bottom one is a 360 image. It's just an image. You can't move through it. And that's normally for exteriors. Okay? So 99% of what you're doing is 3D scan, and then you take a 360 capture outside, and it puts a little logo on the 360 tour, so you can jump to that and you can see what it looks like. If it's retail, you can see what stores surround it from the street, etc. 7, changes make Matterport crazy. So closing doors, lighting changes, etc. drive Matterport crazy because it can't match up the previous scans with the new scans. And jokingly I say, so keep helpful people away. They're going to try to help you by opening and closing doors and turning on new lights, and that's going to make your virtual tour get destroyed. Lastly, tag mirrors and doors. Okay, so when you're scanning these locations, you do have to tag mirrors and doors. The reason being, with a mirror, Matterport believes that there's a room behind you, and with a window, it believes that there's a room ahead of you or through the window. So when you tag it, it depletes the reflectivity of it, and you won't have that problem. Otherwise, your scans will go crazy. So what does Matterport deliver? So number one, it delivers the dollhouse that we saw in the beginning. Number two, a virtual reality tour with the dots on the floor that you can navigate. Three, edits via the app, so you can jump into the app and you can make the changes. Four, the edits available are via the desktop app. You can log into Matterport.com and make changes. That's normally where you make the big changes. You get a link to the virtual reality tour. You get an embed to the virtual reality tour. So you get the code that you would put onto a web page for it to appear on the web page, or a link that you would click and it would go to the virtual reality tour. Now this is the good stuff. 7, they give floor plans. So a floor plan like this can be generated from your scans, and it can also give you CAD files, which obviously is ideal if you're doing upgrades or updates and you're going to push some walls out, or you're going to paint a room or resize a room or whatnot. Obviously having these CAD files is going to be beneficial. Lastly, Matterport Academy is where you can learn more, and they basically have camera-centric tutorials, and they have Matterport tutorials on doing the floors and etc. What to do with cleaning up your scans, etc. It's very good. There isn't a lot of post-processing. Most of my scans, after I take the 80 photos and upload them, it takes about 3 hours for them to process and for them to be done, and then things work. I hope I brought you a great introduction to Matterport, how it can be used for SEO. It's definitely a tool in your arsenal that you can offer to clients, and who knows, you might be able to close a deal with it. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.